The Bob Devaney Sports Center in the track area, and we're picking up on the balance beam. I don't know, Francis, I'm not a gymnastics expert, but from everyone that I've talked to, the balance beam, is it right out the toughest of the women's events?
Oh, yeah, you bet it does. Well, it would in my book. Now, we talked earlier, which is nice. Ann Rosen is now up on the balance beam, and she's going to show us a real nice routine. And she's not a great bar worker. She's a tall, thin girl. It takes a lot of effort for her to do bars. She is tremendous on balance beam. Here she is doing it at her best. She just did 4 or 5 skills without a deduction. I would say she's doing a tremendous routine right now, and competes for East High School also, and is a terrific high school talent.
Now, Lincoln East High School has several representatives here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have 4 or 5 girls here in this competition. That's nice to see that some of the high school girls are getting involved in Husker sport and the Husker games. There, Ann was showing us some flexibility, and you notice by her hand movements and her gestures with her body, she's a very good dancer, has very good flow, as we call it. Flow is the ability of the gymnast to go from, take one of these acrobatic skills and dance out of it, and then dance right into another acrobatic skill, and that's what really makes a good beam worker a good beam worker.
Keep in mind, the beam is 4 inches wide.
There's a nice dismount. That was called a cartwheel step-in backflip with a full twist. A superior dismount she did, and that was a pretty darn nice routine.
Yeah, the rest of the gymnasts in the open class seem to think so, too.
Yeah, you can even tell when a girl does a good routine. They all go out and congratulate her. In fact, the judges ought to watch them and see how jovial they are with a girl. That way they'll know whether to give her a 9.4 or a 9.6.
And, of course, congratulations from Peggy Liddick, one of the 4 coaches you were talking about that's here assisting with the gymnastics portion of the Cornhusker State Games.
Yeah, we have Ed Anson, Vern Moore, Steve Elliott, and Peggy Liddick working the floor, and they're out there. This is it for them. They're out in the trenches right now. This is a war, so they're pretty excited, and the gymnasts are doing a good job. Our next gymnast is going to be Kristen Goots, and we talked about her a little bit earlier, too. She's a tremendous dance girl in gymnastics. Now, you take a look at her. If you were to ask her what's your best event, she's probably going to say balance beam and floor. You ask her what's her worst one, she'll probably say bars, and her third favorite would be vaulting, I would say right offhand, because she has a great dance background. You'll see her get up here, and she just looks like she's at home on this thing.
Well, it seemed like that the name Goots has been synonymous with the Francis Allen School of Gymnastics forever.
Yeah, it certainly does. They've done a tremendous job for us. They've been in every basketball, football event we've done. They've had 4 daughters in gymnastics, and this one seems to have done the best of all of them. She's really taken her dance background. Ann scored a 9.05 on the balance beam. That's a pretty darn good score.
Kristen Goots on the balance beam.
The thing to watch for now, as I talked earlier about these transitions, how she dances from one acrobatic skill to another, or from a dance movement to a leap movement or to a dismount, and you'll see how it actually looks like it has some composition to it. It's not like if you or I were out there, it would be just very rough and fragmented from one to another. The better bar or the better beam workers can just make a beam routine start out. They're like they're trying to tell us a story from mount through to the dismount.
I have a feeling if you and I were out there, a 4-foot wide beam wouldn't be enough for us.
There would be some laughter. I can guarantee you that. There would be some laughter.
They could use us for comic relief, Brent.
But this is a nice routine.
How do you teach them to concentrate just on that 4 inches? Because, you know, you see all the open area around you. Is there a special way to get them to concentrate?
Well, they try to square off all the time. If you were to hear their coach, they're saying stay square. What that means is they're trying to keep their hips square to the beam and their shoulders square to the beam. Now, when they're doing all these dance movements, you still try to maintain that stability. If you get your hips out of line and your shoulders out of line, you're in trouble, because you're not going to be able to get them both to gyrate back in and get them both squared up again for you to stay on the balance beam. That's where I would say that the type of concentration. Oh, she's getting ready for a dismount, which was front flip full twist off. Another great routine. I didn't get a chance to watch it in its entirety, but I would say it's gonna probably maybe be better than the 905. But I'll tell you, that's some pretty nice beam routines for this time of the season. That's a beautiful leotard also. Not a bad looking girl either, but so that's a tremendous routine, and she competes for East High School also. Now we're on floor exercise.
This, I believe, is Heidi Warner.
This is one of the smaller ones. This is one of the little tigers that's working here to make gymnastics part of her life, and she's at one of those points in her life where she's a great young talent, and who knows what she's going to do. You know, if you were to ask Peggy Liddick, how's Heidi going to be, she'll say she's going to be an elite, one of our best ever, because she has surpassed all of these other gymnasts that you hear so much about. Terry Furman, who was a national age group champion for us. Robin Richter, who was a national age group champion and an elite gymnast. They say that this girl's better than they were back at their age. So, you know, we may have more Olympic material here. Pretty nice floor routine. I haven't seen that over
For someone, just quickly, Francis, for someone who's viewing and says, gee whiz, I'd like to get my kids interested in gymnastics wherever they might be viewing from, what would you suggest?
Well, as an example, here in Lincoln, we have 3 gymnastics schools that cater to men's and women's gymnastics. It's Capital City Gymnastics in the northeast part of town. We have Lincoln School of Gymnastics out in the southeast part of town, and the Nebraska School of Gymnastics here at the university. All 3 of those programs offer gymnasts exactly what you need to start with. They've got great instructors. They've got great gym facilities. If you need a gymnastics program in your city and you don't have one, I think all you have to do is call one of those 3 schools, and we can recommend a place that you should go to do gymnastics. We're now looking at Holly Aricoli on the balance beam. Holly's a very talented gymnast for us again. Her father used to work in the admissions office here at the university, has since then moved to Arizona, where he's, I think, the director of their admissions office. So Holly's going to be leaving us at the end of this summer, and everybody's just tore up about that. She's done a great job for us. She's one of our very talented young 13-year-olds. So this will probably be her last competition here in Nebraska, and she'll go down to Arizona. At Arizona University, she'll be competing out of Tucson. And, of course, they're excited to get a gymnast at her level down there. We hate to see her go. Peggy Liddick spent a lot of time on this gymnast, not only Peggy, but her whole staff, on getting her. She's one of those gymnasts that's very strong, but a very good dancer.
She just exudes confidence, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's up there and getting after it. She had a sprained ankle that kind of slowed her down there towards the last part of the season, but she's worked through that. She's doing a tremendous job now. Again, here we're seeing how she's being able to combine those elements, work her dance through the elements, through the aerial elements, and preparing here for a dismount. Another full twisting somersault, an element of high difficulty.
All right, she's smiling after that one.
Now, she had a couple of waivers, body movements in her routine that weren't in there, so that's going to hurt her more so than Ann and Kristen had. They did pretty darn solid routines. I would say that one's probably going to score, you know, in the neighborhood of 8.5 because of those 2 wobbles. Other than that, she'd be right up there with the other 2.
This, I believe, is Susan Anderson back to the floor exercise mat.
She's a 12-year-old and is doing a tremendous job here. I'm sorry, I don't know where she's from. She's from Omaha. And you can see here, she's working those double turns. She didn't quite make either one of them, but for her level of competition, working those double turns, next year when we'll see Susan, she'll be able to nail those double turns, and her floor routine scores will go up. So she's probably using this competition as one of those building blocks for her house of gymnastics.
Keep in mind that this is what the Cornhusker State Games are all about. It gives young athletes at almost every level a chance to compete and get better. Susan Anderson from Omaha.
Yeah, she's from the Omega School of Gymnastics. The Omegas also run a very big invitational up in Omaha every year. In fact, they invite schools from a 5-state area, so that's a tremendous club they have there in Omaha also.
Just quickly, you started to say for anyone in greater Nebraska who doesn't have a program, how would you suggest they might get exposed to gymnastics?
Well, about all they need to do is just call one of the major clubs. And like I said earlier, we have about 15 of them in the United States. Call one of them, and they can tell you where there are smaller clubs. Almost every city has a dance studio that can refer their gymnasts to a gymnastics school. So if they can't find a gymnastics program, they should go to a dance school. Ask them what they're doing and or what gymnastics program they're affiliated with, and they're off and running.
Well, as we like to do on ETV, we like to get up close and personal with the performers. Here's Francis Allen to talk with Robin Richter.
Robin, this is your second Husker State Games you've competed in. You're an elite gymnast. How does it feel to be an elite gymnast and partake in these events?
taking part in the Nebraska gymnastics meet. It's a real fun experience, and I like it a lot.
Don't you feel that many of these young gymnasts are using this as a stepping stone to go from here to perhaps maybe state championships, regional championships, and maybe your own elite championship level?
Some of them, yeah, this is a big start for them. A couple of the girls from our team, it's their first optional meet, and they're really little, and it's a good experience for them.
We talked earlier. What's your favorite event?
The uneven bars.
Yeah, that's what I told them. I'm glad you said that. How many hours a day would you say to a young gymnast it's going to take to get to your level? How many hours do you work out a day?
We work out 4 hours a day from 10 to 2 during the summer and 6 to 9:30 during the school.
One more thing. How important do you think dance is for a gymnast?
It's very important to have good choreography in your balance beam routines and floor routines.
Well, thanks, Robin. We're looking for a lot out of you next year, honey. And back to Jim.
Thank you, Francis, and I'll look forward to working with you tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed the girls' gymnastics here on our coverage of the Cornhusker Games from the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Coming up tomorrow, Francis and I will be back here for the coverage of the boys' gymnastics.
Results now. We have some of the all-around winners, Jerry. There are so many gymnastics kids competing, we don't have time to show you everyone, but we do have the girls' Class 1 all-arounds, 12 to 14s. Amy Davis of Lincoln is first. Robin Richter, of course, a national champion, is second. And Holly Aripoli of Lincoln is third. In the girls' Class 1 all-around, age 15 and up, Vicki Thimgen of Lincoln is first with Kristen Gutz and Tanya Christie of Lincoln. Kristen Goots and Tanya Christie. 1, 2, 3, a Lincoln sweep in the girls' Class 1, 15 and up. The girls' Class 2 all-around, 9 to 11 years old. Kelly Hammer of Lincoln is first with Christy Richter, the sister of Robin Richter, second. In the girls' Class 2 all-around, 12 to 14 years old, Susan Anderson of Omaha is the gold medal winner. Heidi Warner of Lincoln is second, and Jenny Christie of Lincoln is third. Girls' Class 2 all-around, age 15 and up, Melissa McGrew, the gold medal winner. Terry Metcalf is the silver medalist, and Sheila Jaswald of Lincoln is the bronze medalist. The girls' Class 3 all-arounds, 9 to 11 years old, Michelle Kent of Lincoln is the champion. Shelley Johnson of Waverly, Nebraska is second, and Lisa Benny of Lincoln is third. The girls' Class 3 all-arounds, 12 to 14 years old, Julie Rager of Lincoln, the champion. Debbie Frazell of Lincoln is second, and Colette Wheeler of Lincoln is third. Again, a 1, 2, 3 Lincoln sweep. Heather Hansen of Central City wins the girls' Class 3 all-arounds, the little ones, age 7 to 8, and Sarah McKelvey of Lincoln is the silver medalist. The girls' Class 3 all-arounds, 9 to 11, Katie Freeland of Axtell, Nebraska, the gold medal winner. Karen Lau of Fremont is second, and Brandy Johnson of Oakland, Nebraska is third. Girls' Class 3 all-around, 12 to 14, Nikki Spickelmeyer of Lincoln is the champion. Julie Rager of Lincoln is second, and Colette Wheeler of Lincoln is third. Girls' Class 3 all-around, age 15 and up, Casey Atchison of Kearney, the gold medal winner. Michelle Ball takes the silver medal, and Lisa Mafafi of Omaha is third. The girls' Class 3 all-arounds, age 7 to 8, Kendra Sherman of Lincoln, the champion. Sarah McKelvey is second, and Lisa McKelvey is third. McKelvey family well represented there. Girls' Class 4 all-arounds, 9 to 11, Maggie Strubble is the champion. Christy Huppert of Lincoln is second, and Jenny Petz of Fremont is third. Girls' Class 4 all-around, 12 and 14 years old, Paula Beatty of Deschler, Nebraska, the champion. Chris Hendricks of La Vista is second, and Sherry Sahlstrom of Lyons, Nebraska is third. Girls' Class 4 all-around, 15 and up, Angie Fetters of Lyons, the champion, and Karen Burris of Oakland is second. Girls' Class 4 all-around, the little ones again, age 7 and 8, Sarah Barber of Lincoln, the champion, with Lisa Bukachik second, and Kendra Sherman, of Lincoln is third. And Jerry, they brought up something very interesting, of course. Jim and Francis mentioned this is one of the few avenues of competition that the older athlete has. Many times, especially in gymnastics, when you get out of college, and if you're not a national caliber gymnast, you have nowhere to compete. But is that an intention of the games, to give these athletes a place to compete beyond college?
Absolutely. This is one of the thoughts that we had when we talked about gymnastics. We felt that, especially in gymnastics, that we would get these good athletes that had once competed at a high level. And certainly that's been the case here, and we're very happy. And I think down the line, as Francis has stated, and Jim Miller also, that you're going to see more of them come in.
We'd like to say